Yes, this afternoon we will see many spots on Cape Cod, especially outer Cape Cod and moving toward the islands, staying in the 70s today. That's while we're forecasting a high of 90 for most inland suburbs. Meanwhile, this morning we're starting things off getting a little warmer here as we're climbing through the upper 60s and approaching 70 in spots. That's after starting off in the 50s earlier this morning. In the city right now, it is bright, it is calm as we're sitting at 69 degrees. You could see the lack of clouds overhead with our satellite and radar imagery here. Just a few high clouds painting the sky in far northern New England. So it's a mostly sunny outlook here in southern New England with a sea breeze keeping us in the 80s for most of the coastline. Boston topping out at just about 86. Meanwhile, inland 90-degree heat in the forecast, could get up to 92 in Nashua. And it's only going to get hotter. I'll have a look at when the strongest of the heat moves in. Your full forecast coming up. Good morning, Sarah. It's starting to get a little warmer out there, but the heat is on in the week ahead with a dome of heat setting up shop over our area. I'll look at just how hot we'll get, plus the chance for showers and storms this week. That is a little bit of a concern here. We had a really dry stretch of weather last week, but the temperatures were in check. This week, it's also looking dry. We have a very low risk of some showers and storms Wednesday night, possibly lingering into Thursday, but we need a good widespread beneficial rainfall. And without that in the forecast, and of course the likelihood for very hot conditions, that's a combination that could allow for possibly some drought conditions to develop very quickly in our area. For now, we are keeping an eye on the Wednesday night, Thursday time frame. That's when we have a front that's going to be nearby moving in from the northwest. And so at this point, it does appear that on Wednesday evening, our best chance for showers and storms will be northwest of our area into portions of New York and moving up toward northern New Hampshire. But as this continues to shift southeastward, perhaps we could see a few showers being triggered as we move into the overnight hours and possibly even into Thursday, although the potential for these showers continues to kind of fall here, and we're looking at a likelihood of maybe 1/10 of an inch, 2/10 of an inch of rain at most. It looks like the more beneficial and heavier rainfall will stay just to our west and north. So that is somewhat unfortunate here. I know we did have a very wet ending to spring, but the summer has started to really take a more of a dry turn here, and especially now that we're kicking off August. Upper 60s to low 70s right now, so it's not hot by any means, but things are starting to warm up, especially when we compare to yesterday at this time where we still had a lot of 50s. The clouds are just to our north. We're seeing some of these high, thin, wispy clouds moving through into northern New England, but at this point it looks like we're holding on to a pretty bright outlook here in southern New England. So we'll call it mostly sunny. East wind developing, that is our sea breeze. So that's going to keep Boston and most of the coastline in the 80s today. I say most because we could see a few 70s down toward the islands and the outer portions of Cape Cod. So a little bit cooler if you're heading to the beach today compared to inland spots. Our suburbs will be topping out near 90 today, 92 in Nashua this afternoon. With humidity slowly climbing overnight, we'll see less in the way of 50s overnight and more in the way of 60s. I think the best chance of hitting the 50s tonight will be into the far northwest suburbs. So it's a little warmer tonight, and that of course will set us up for what looks to be a hotter day tomorrow. Inland suburbs, this is going to be a very easily achievable heat wave. We're looking at mid-90s again for tomorrow, likely into Tuesday and Wednesday and possibly into Thursday. But at the coastline, we have the sea breeze influence that will likely keep Boston just below 90 tomorrow. We should be able to hit at least 90 on Tuesday and Wednesday in the city, but we need at least 3 days in a row for it to be an official heat wave. Keep in mind, we have not seen any 90-degree days in Boston so far this August, and on average, we see about 4 days. But this summer, we've already seen.
I'm Jennifer Egan.
And I'm Sarah Conji in for Rondella. Yeah, the sunset was perfect, and now people need to get there and get their spots on the beach.
Yes, claim your spots. I have a feeling it's going to be a busy beach day, and rightfully so as you move out toward Orange. But it is going to be a warm day, especially for our inland spots. You can see the skies are bright and blue, conditions are calm, and we really can't find a cloud in sight in southern New England. Northern New England, there's a few high wispy clouds that are passing through, and we may see a cloud or two pass through this afternoon. But overall, very bright outlook, very similar to yesterday. Sea breeze development by noon, and that will keep Boston and the coastline mainly in the 80s today. So yes, a glorious beach day where our inland spots away from the sea breeze will be making a run toward 90 today. 90 in Wellesley, 92 in Nashua, quite a bit warmer than Nantucket, sitting in the 70s. We could see a few 70s on outer Cape Cod too. 60s tonight with the humidity starting to climb, and that climb continues as our temperatures also climb this week. I'll pinpoint the hottest spots ahead. Sarah and 69 in Boston, 67 in Plymouth. We're seeing a lot more 70s now on the board. We're starting to feel that warm up kicking in, but it's still really beautiful sunny sky out there. So conditions look inviting for trying to get out and about. We'll see just a few high wispy cirrus clouds painting our sky, which we're seeing right now over northern New England. Overall, though, very bright day. So it's a mostly sunny outlook with a sea breeze developing as early as noon in Boston and really for much of the coast. That is why the coast is best today. We're going to top out in the 80s for most of our coastline. Boston at just about 86. Some areas of the outer portions of Cape Cod and heading down toward the islands could actually stay in the 70s today, so much more comfortable down toward the islands. Move inland, 90 degrees in Norwood, 92 heading up toward Nashua. That's going to be our hot spot, likely over the next couple of days as well, just because of our wind direction. It gets slightly more humid tonight, so you'll start to feel that humidity creeping upward, and as a result, our low temperatures stay a little bit warmer. We're in the mid 60s for most spots, and that sets us up for those 90s tomorrow. Mid 90s looking more widespread through the Merrimack Valley. However, with that sea breeze, we'll likely stay just shy of 90 in Boston, which is why I think we might be just shy of an official heat wave in the city. But that's not to say that's the case everywhere. In fact, we're looking at mid 90s not only tomorrow, but likely Tuesday and Wednesday for our inland suburbs. So it's a very hot stretch of weather for us. The next area of showers that are moving toward our region will be for Wednesday night into Thursday. There's a cold front that's going to be pressing toward us. It does lose a lot of moisture as it arrives. And so the question here is how much can this rain actually hold together as we move through Wednesday night and into Thursday? At this point, it looks like we may see a spot shower or two. Best chances northwest of Boston Wednesday night, but maybe a few drops as we head into Thursday. The models are not thinking we're going to see much here, and that's been the trend as we look at a rainfall projection here of less than 1/10 of an inch for many spots. We have this area of development that looks like it's going to continue to disorganize in the central Atlantic. So we're focusing in on a tropical wave moving off the coast of Africa. A lot of the models suggest this will follow a westward track. The question is, will it continue to stay west next weekend and move toward the Caribbean, or will it move out to sea? So we're watching that very closely. The next name on the list.